Afternoon, Scott. How timely was an international break and a bit of time to take stock and work with some players and maybe actually work out who's who in the changing room after so much change?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good timing, really. I think you're right in saying that. Obviously, a lot of players left out on international duty as well. But I think all round, obviously, after the window shutting and the dynamics of what we was left with in terms of a lot of new players in the building, good time to work with them, good time to gel a bit together in terms of getting to know each other a little bit more. So yeah, it was crucial time in that sense.
For the ones that came in late in the window, I think you said 45 minutes of training for the couple of lads that made their debut in the derby. How invaluable is it going to be to have not just spent time on the training pitch, but Jayden Anthony's just been in here to get your bearings and know where you're going and know who's who and all those kind of things?
Massive, really. And these are the dynamics what maybe people from the outside don't see. You know, people coming in from different clubs, different culture, different environment, just as simple things of just getting recognising the staff and what people's purposes are around the building are crucial. And that can be quite strange, of course it can. Now as footballers, you know, you move around a little bit and you probably adapt very, very quickly. And then more to that is obviously the dynamics of the team and in terms of giving new information, players that have come from different environments, different coaching styles maybe. These all take time really, and they take a lot of time in that sense. So we need to fast forward that process as quick as we can. So yeah, they're the challenges that we may face now.
You got some game time into Anthony and into Laurent and into Sarmiento off the bench in that game. Fleming wasn't involved. I presume he was signed too late. Are those guys all very much raring to go and integrated and available for you now? Yeah,
they're available now. Obviously, like I said, massive respect really in terms of the boys what played in that game. That was I think we all know from being around it, a local derby as big as that was, and these players, like I said, literally had trained 45 minutes, had not played with the players they were playing with. So a massive respect for them boys in what they did, certainly on that Saturday. And I was very pleased with generally the way the whole game went. And of course, I said after the game, was a game we wanted to go and win, and a game that we felt we deserved to win the 3 points. But overall, the bigger picture for me in terms of the dynamics of what we was facing, there were some real positives there really. So yeah.
Obviously supporters will have seen what a few of these guys can give in little glimpses. Just on Fleming, does he give you something a little bit different to perhaps what you've had available previously or have available at the moment, if you see what I mean?
He probably does. He brings a big experience in this division, certainly his goal record in and around this division at Millwall as well. I think he brings versatility in terms of his position where he can play. He can play as a 10 or he can play as a 9. His general game and how he plays, I think he does bring something different, strong, physical, eye for a goal in that sense, and like I said, his record suggests that as well. So really looking forward. Look, we've worked now for the last week or so with him, and really looking forward to working with him in more detail, him to get to know the players as well, and a really good addition for us in that sense.
It feels like a long time ago we sat here and I said, is 37 players too many to have in a squad? And will it look different when the transfer window closes? It certainly does look different. You've submitted that squad list now. There's a couple of names that aren't on there. I know Jordan Bayer was talking about his injury on social media this week. Just on a human level, how hard is that when you've come back from an injury to then have another layoff?
Yeah, so, I mean, of anyone at this present moment in time, all injuries, I'm always very conscious, you know, that it's the hardest time for any professional footballer, and speaking just solely on Jordan and not looking past the other boys in there, because there's some challenges what you have in that physio room, but certainly Jordan has had a real tough time, obviously injured, came back and has really struggled with this knee. It looks like we've got to the point of what he needed doing, and we found that. The downside is obviously he's going to have some time on the sidelines now, sometimes some considerable time, but at least we're moving in the right direction in that sense. And he's gonna need to dig deep now. Like I said, these are challenging times for any professional sportsman. But what I suggest is, or what I have seen is, Jordan's been through a lot, certainly in this short space of time, and I've no doubt that he'll come out the other side of this a better player and a better person for it, really.
We're in the social media era, aren't we? Do you think it's helpful for him, specifically him as an individual, to be able to tell people and say, this is where I'm at, here's an update, this is why you haven't seen me around, kind of thing?
Yeah, maybe it is. Social media, like you said, I'm probably very anti it. In that sense, I don't have it, and I understand the dynamics of it now, certainly in the world we live in, and I suppose it's one's decision and one's choice, and that gives Jordan a voice in that sense to, one, connect with the fan base who are obviously searching and want to know because they care. And Jordan obviously feels that's the best way to communicate as well. So I have nothing against that in whatsoever. Whatever's best for Jordan and how he sees fit to deal with that is solely down to him, really.
You've touched on a reasonably lengthy list of injuries, which I won't necessarily go through one by one at this point. Also not on that squad list was Shirandi Sambo. I just wonder what the situation is with him. Is he in that bracket or is it something else?
No, Shu is in that squad, or is in the squad list. The reason why that wasn't the case initially was that there was an opportunity that maybe Shu would have left the club to go and get some football and have a loan. So that was a decision we was making in terms of that. That didn't materialise, partly from us in that sense. But like I said, at this present moment in time, Shu is in the squad and ready to hit the challenge which we all face now, and Shu's exactly that.
On the subject of challenges, Leeds United at Elland Road, 3rd place last season, of course, as high as you can finish without going up automatically. How big a challenge is this? How much of a benchmark is this for a really new squad in your case?
Yeah, big test for us, no doubt, against a very good side, first and foremost, in terms of our side, what have been together for some time now, made slight changes along the way, but have got a settled team. That added to the actual football club and the fan base, what Elland Road brings as a big challenge for us at the weekend, which we recognise. Benchmark, yeah, you could see it as that as well. I suppose there's some similarities in our first game of the season when we were sitting here going up against a Luton team as well. So yeah, look, I think first and foremost, what a challenge for us. We're looking forward to this. Of course, a new team in terms of us, and still loads of work for us to be done, but nothing but real excitement about going into this test which we face at the weekend, really.
You can count on one hand, Scott, the number of current managers who've got out of the Championship into the Premier League more than once. You're one of them. So's Daniel Farke. Give me an appreciation of how difficult that is to do.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. This is a tough division, and while from the outside the perception may be that it's all down to the squad and that gives you a great opportunity. Of course it does, but there's a lot more that has to go into that. And to get a team out of this division and the relentlessness of this division, you're doing something right, really. So nothing but full admiration for Daniel and the job he's done. They missed out lightly or just by a thread last year in a playoff final, which is a 50-50 game, really. But like I said, a settled team now, and you can see that in terms of the way the team's played and the way the team processes. But yeah, nothing but full admiration for the work Daniel's done previous and certainly now even.
There was next to nothing between them at the top of the table in the Championship last season. How do you feel it's changed? Do you think it's going to be that tight again this year?
I think it's probably too early to call at this present moment in time. I still think there's, you don't really get a good sighter on things until you're probably 10, 12 games into the season. I still think it's very, very early. Teams starting a little bit slower, teams picking up, development of teams and where teams are. But yeah, look, I think it's going to be a tight league again, or certainly there'll be 3 or 4 right around it this year. I don't see much difference in that.
And just from a personal perspective, a new squad we've talked about, new players in there. Is that an exciting thing in the sense that we don't really know what to expect, so nobody else probably knows what to expect? Yeah,
it definitely is. There's a real excitement around it now. Of course there is. Look, there's been a lot of changes, and it's been clear for everyone to see. A lot of players have left the football club, and new players have come in. I think I've referenced it many times. The players what are here want to be here. They're excited to play for Burnley. Now there is challenges there, of course, a new team to build up this team now. The 6 weeks previous, what we've had pre-season's really now irrelevant, because a lot of the players what you're working with at that moment in time have left the football club, and we're starting afresh now. But with engagement, with an excitement, with an enthusiasm which we have in this squad, you've got half a chance, really. So look, I'm looking forward to working with the squad we've got. I'm looking forward for us developing and moving forward as a group and as a team. and yeah, hopefully we'll get where we need to get to as quick as we can. That's down to me to try and execute that as quick as we can, really.
Good luck, thank you.
Cheers, pal.
Hi, Scott. You signed John Egan after you'd been training with you for a few weeks. What was it that you'd seen in him to make you want to sign him?
Well, a number of things, really. One, the character of the human being in terms of John. Came in for the week, last couple of weeks really, trained with us, brings a wealth of experience in that sense. And it's probably what we need as well when you look at, certainly our back line is quite young. It's a group of players who have probably not been in and around this level so much. Excited about them young talents, but certainly probably want the confidence of one which John brings. He brings quality. He's been in and around it, been promoted out of this division, knows what, he's got the t-shirt, he knows what's needed. And also I think he helps with the group as well. These young players, the CJs, the Maxes, the Humphreys, the Lucases, the Shoes. You know, this is a guy with vast experience that can help these players get to where they need to get to as well, really.
He didn't play a lot last season to do with that bad injury. Is that all behind him now? Has he improved his fitness?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, look, he's in a good place at this present moment in time. Like I said, trained with us for the last 2.5 weeks. So yeah, I'm delighted for us to have managed to get this over the line. And like I said, I think there's a lot of aspects of John which is going to help us this year, really.
You're still looking at free agents, or is that likely to be it now until January?
Yeah, probably likely to be it now. Yeah, it's we'll go with where we are now in that sense, and run it now till January, and work with this team and work with this group of players, and we'll revisit that come the window.
The two that came off against Blackburn, Maxime and Manuel Benson, how are they getting on since those knocks?
Maxime's okay. Benny's got a bit of a big injury, so yeah, he won't be around for a number of weeks, maybe months. So yeah, the big disappointment from the game regarding Benny in that sense. Obviously coming on for how he came on, but hopefully he can recover as quick as we can. But we won't be seeing Benny for a little while.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? What exactly did he do? Because he couldn't actually tell at the time exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's his calf. He's felt calf / Achilles. And it seems, we've obviously scanned him, and there's a bit of a problem there regarding it. So he's going to need time now to recover and get that right, and reboot him up and get him ready for when he's fit.
Connor Roberts, how is he after coming off for Wales in midweek?
Connor, it's just reported in today. We've assessed. Doesn't seem as bad as we initially thought. He had an awareness and came out the game pretty quick before obviously anything went on. We're trying to work out whether it was just a general over fatigue and a tiredness. Again, we'll reassess tomorrow, giving us every opportunity for him to try and make Saturday. So we'll see over the next 24 hours exactly how he comes out of that.
Yeah, there's longer term ones you touched on with Dan. Are any of those sort of come back over the international break? I know you said before Hannah Delcroix, and I think it was Enoch Adji with the closest. Is that still the case?
Enoch's back on the grass. Enoch's training with us, so yeah, that's been pleasing. He's been training with us now for about the last 3 or 4 days. So fit and well at this present moment in time. Still needs building up, obviously, for being out for some time. Delcroix, the same, not training with us, but on the grass. And the other boys as well in the treatment room, the longer term injuries, Nathan, are on the grass and obviously pushing forward, but are still a little way away.
Mike Chesel was named in the squad list. Is he fit and healthy, ready to go? Is he ready to knuckle down for the season? Yeah,
fit and healthy. Again, Mikey now comes back in. Obviously spent a large part of last year, or certainly the back end of last year, where he was injured, and obviously was some issues there regarding that. Was back in Belgium, had a serious injury in that sense, or illness. Comes back with us now, has been around it, again on the grass today, incorporated him in some bits with the team, as well as him then going off and doing some individual work to get him up to speed, but heading in the right direction. Looking forward to working with him. I've had experience with him when I was in Belgium playing against him. Big quality, and hopefully he can play a big part with us this year, really.
We saw this week new contracts with Josh Cullen and Luca Kadosha as well. How good is that to get them knuckled down for long-term futures? Yeah,
I think that's it's brilliant for us as a football club in that sense. Both of them, Luca big talent for us, one we want to develop even more, and to nail him down to that contract was a big success for everyone at the football club in that sense. And obviously Luca feels that this is the best place for him at the moment, and the same for Josh. Really, this is a guy that bleeds Burnley really, and is an incredible professional and a fantastic football player as well. So I'm very pleased that we've managed to nail that one down as well.
Is Josh ready for Saturday as well? Obviously, he missed the international break with Ireland.
Yeah, Josh is ready. Yeah. Again, we need to just work out whether this weekend comes a bit too quick. He's trained with us now for 2 or 3 days. Again, we'll make a call probably tomorrow exactly where we see that.
Are there any other sort of new contracts on the horizon that the fans would love to see Josh Brownhill, for example, get a new deal? Not
that I know of at this present moment in time. I think there's constant dialogue with the players we feel necessary. We want to try and tie down to the club, but nothing in the pipeline at this present moment in time.
Thank you.
Okay, cameras off for that one. Thank you.